course, with me, it usually means like a 75% chance of Dimir, 15% chance of Izzet, and like a 10% chance of Boros or other. Not force, just lean. We just lean. All right, everybody, we are going to jump into this ranked Guilds of Ravnica draft, going back in time a little bit and playing one of my favorite formats to play. I love the gameplay of the Dimir decks and the Izzet decks a lot. Unfortunately, this format doesn't have a lot of depth because there are only a handful of very good archetypes, especially on Arena. But the gameplay is really fun, and I can pretty much draft GRN Dimir cards in perpetuity and not be too upset. So we're going to go for it. And before we do, I wanted to thank my sponsor, Card Kingdom. Card Kingdom, as you can access from my affiliate link down below in the panels, is selling you physical Magic stuff. If you play tabletop Magic and you don't have Card Kingdom in your rotation of sellers, you got to get them in your rotation at least. You know, you're gonna go for the best bargain and the best thing you can find, but don't sleep on Card Kingdom's customer service, their quality, their breadth of offerings. They have everything you need, and they really deliver fast, and they deliver exactly what you expect or better. They basically just exceed my expectations whenever I interact with them, and I recommend that you do too. So check out Card Kingdom from my affiliate link. Wave hi from me. Tell them Going Optimal sent you in the notes or whatever, and you'll get what you want. All right, let's see if we get what we want, which is a sweet, sweet Dimir rare or mythic. Nope. Instead, we get a weak Boros mythic, but we'll probably take it. Deadweight is... This is an interesting pick of Deadweight versus Deadly Visit. I think I'm on first Deadweight over first Deadly Visit. The Dimir deck really wants to survive early so that it can take over late, and Deadweight is perfect for that. So that would be my pick if we weren't considering Gemmage, but I have a hard time passing Mythics. Mythics, yeah, Banrat's fine if you are into the Boros side of things, but I think even if I'm on the Pro Tour, I'm taking Deadweight here. Yeah, it's 40 gems. And that's why I have a hard time passing this. Although we don't have any. Let's see, how many mythics do we have? We have 10 mythics. Do we want to try and... So here's a real question for chat. Like, the goal of this account is largely to play as much free limited as we can. We have 0 chance for glories on this account. We have 4x the rares, but we have not 4x the mythics. So we could take this... use 4 of our mythics to like craft it up, but we may be better off just saving these mythic rare wild cards for the fall set for Eldraine, right? If we were like at 2 chance for glories, I would do it because I think then it would be a little closer. But actually, the fact that we are not likely to 4x this set in mythics makes me want to pass on the chance and just take the Deadweight actually. So that's the interesting place the free-to-play account is when it comes to late-stage mythics from sets we don't have complete. Like, if our goal is truly to go bottomless on limited, then we should actually pass the chance for glory in this spot. However, if there were 4 of them, or even 3 of them, we would snap it up. How close are we to Vault? I don't... let's see... The current view I have isn't telling me, so I'm not sure. But we cracked a vault fairly recently, so I think we are very low. All right, so we'll take Deadweight because I don't think we can squeeze the gem value we actually want out of this mythic. Ral, however, is a mythic where we have 2 of them. So we can let... I didn't want to go from 0... to craft 4, but I will go and craft 2, and especially when there's not really... I mean, there's Artful Takedown. That's good, but I'm going to take the Viceroy here, and also we might end up just Izzet and play it, you know? Yeah, so Ral is great, and you know me, I'm willing to splash Hypothesis, well, I'm certainly willing to splash Ral. And we could take the Gate towards that, Notion Rain towards that. Whisper Agent could play in an Is It deck if we abandoned black. Integrity Intervention is a great pick. If you had started down the Boros path, you'd be happy to go here. But I think for our purposes, we want Notion Rain, Agent, or Guildgate. Deadweight's an okay splash, but it's not that great on turn 7, and I want my splashes to be great on turn 7. Deadweight is often fine on turn 7, but it's not a guaranteed great. Whereas Deadweight on turn 1 with a swamp is like a guaranteed great. Unexplained Disappearance does not make my list in the face of these two. Surveil triggers are super important, which is why the 2 Surveil options trump the Poisoner, for example. But this Surveil option is tempo, and I still, even though I'll play basically 1 or 2 of these in any Dimir deck, they aren't as good in the Go Long Dimir plan as they are in kind of an Is It tempo plan. So, like, really, this is what Dimir wants, not this. Like, this is tempo and temporary. This is long-term and permanent. You just don't want too many of these or you get too low. The nice thing about, I think this Notion Rain is better than Whisper Agent, but Whisper Agent goes in an Is It deck. If we abandon black, we could still play Whisper Agent. But I'm going to take the Notion Rain and lean into You Know What I Love. Agent does keep us open, but I'm not even really interested in keeping too open here, especially with the Deadweight. Like, if we had nothing but, if we had only had Ral, then I think I would try and stay open, but we have the Deadweight. That influenced me a little bit. Of course, here's an Electromancer saying you could pivot to Is It. Radical Idea, I don't actually like all that much. This is a wheel spinner with no Surveil on the card. I think we take this, probably wheels, like all the stuff we want actually probably wheels. I think Dowser, Imp, and Idea wheel, but I really don't like Idea in the Dimir deck. I don't love it. I know Ben S does. Like, this is one of those places where maybe I need to figure out why I'm wrong, because I feel like I'm not on the same page as players who are better than me. But I find this way too wheel spinny, especially in best of 1. Like, if you have to do this on turn 2 against Boros, ugh. You want to take a flyer on the Electromancer? I guess we can, but here's the thing. This is where, okay, so I'm down on Idea compared to Conventional Wisdom. I'm up on Imp compared to Conventional Wisdom as well. I find the Imp great. I love playing it on turn 1, getting a hit in maybe, but often just stripping out their most important card in their development on turn 2 or 3. Radical Idea, almost think twice. That's not true, sir. Jumpstart requires you to throw away a card. Get off. Almost think twice. Stop that. Not think twice. It may be correct to take the Electromancer with the chance of it. Okay, I'll take the Electromancer because these are all pretty whatever. Even the Imp. I like the Imp more than most, but it's still whatever. So we'll take Electromancer and see. And here's a Sizzle saying, are you sure you want to be... Maybe we just don't worry about this Deadweight, where we splash the Notion Rain, which is more splashable. You gotta take the Sizzle here, though. And there's a Bodyguard. Yikes. Maybe should have been Is It from the get-go. Here I like the land, whether it's to help our Is It deck or help this large splash. Like, here's another thing we can end up doing. We don't play the Electromancer, and we splash Sizzle and Rowl in a Dimir deck. So that's still open to us as well, but this is a pretty clear gate to me. Locksmith is the wrong 2-1 for 2 in red. You want the one that pings, but that's playable. Playable but not great. Also playable but not great, but in the black side of town is Veiled Shade. In the red side of town, we got the Locksmith. I don't know what marginal we would rather have here. I guess we're a little actually closer to Is It than Dimir right now, so maybe the Locksmith is correct. We're not taking a gate, though. Why do we want... Robert's just throwing out cards. I barely even see the dart anymore. I never want to play this card. It's not useless, but I just never want to play it. I would rather have one of these. Yeah, nothing's exciting here. I'm going to take the Shade and keep open the possibility that we back up into Dimir. But with Cyclops, I think this kind of says it. And the availability, like Sergeant's in the pack. Punch, I don't really like playing much, even in Izzet decks. But the Cyclops here says we should be Izzet. And here we get a Bargent we can grab. Rubble Belt is a fine pickup. For Izzet, Plaza might be nice to try to work the splash, but Izzet really doesn't want to spend 2 mana to play a land anyway. We'll take an Izzet Locket and probably not play it. But we might. Izzet's one of the more Locket friendly colors because it's at least a non-creature spell, which triggers some things, and the cards help, and also you can end up with some very mana-intensive stuff that helps with. Don't think we're going to play a Wall of Mist, but it's the best option here. Also unlikely to Maniacal Rage, but we'll take it. Now we have 0 forums. So if we took forums, we'd be crafting up a bunch of forums. So I don't think I want to do that. We can take a lot of Surveil payoffs, but we're no longer in the Dimir side of town. So Phantasm seems less important since we're not going to be getting it bigger. I think we probably just take the Sphinx or even the Disappearance. Yeah, Golgari is pretty much always open, and correctly so. We take Dazzling. I think it's City Watch or Unexplained Disappearance. I was down on Unexplained when we were talking about it as a Dimir card, but it's actually decent as an Izzet card. You bounce their... because Izzet cares about tempo, so you bounce their best blocker, it turns on the Piston Fist Cyclops and gets you through, you know? Huge Flyer Boy, not bad though, although don't be too tricked. Like, the City Watch Sphinx at 6 mana is worse than the 3 blue Surveil 5 mana 3/4 flyer. I'd much rather have the 5 mana 3/4 flyer than the City Watch Sphinx, but you'd happy to take this, and this might actually come back around. It's possible. I think I'll take the Sphinx since we, you know, as a curve topper, and we may just wheel the Disappearance. We got 1 Deafening Clarion, and this is splashable. We could take this and look to maybe pick up some white gates and splash it in Izzet, potentially. What is the cost? The cost is a Mesmerist or a Leapfrog, both of which are likely to wheel. Yeah, I think we take the rare here. We might play it. I don't think we'll craft up to 4 of it, but I also don't want a second Notion. Like, where is it? We've moved into Izzet. Are we really splashing 2 Notion Rains, or even the 1? Definitely not doing this. Yeah, but we can also give our stuff lifelink, and we do control when 3 damage happens, so it's not bad as a bailout. But also, there's just the opportunity cost here is almost nothing. I don't know if we're going to actually take gems here, though, because in order for this to be taking gems, we need to go spend wild cards on crafting GRN cards, which we might want to do. We do like to dabble in Constructed on this, but it's just the opportunity cost is so low. We want to do that. I'm going to try and wheel this Assault and take the Dragonauts here. Love this gate to come around, too. Night of Autumn, another rare. This one we have 2 of. And the cost of taking the night would be Dimir Informant, Stroke, or Radical Idea. We have 2 Nights of Autumn. It's a pretty good constructed card, too. I'm going to take the... I think we will do some crafting here. I'm going to take the rare and make some gems. Beam Splitter Mage, not great, but on color, playable. We end up with some targeting, it's not bad, but you know, this is kind of a bear. So it's like, do we want a slightly hard to cast bear or a boar? Bear or boar? Might just want another boar. Let's look at the curve here. No, we need a bear. We'll throw in whatever bears we can get here now, including fresh-faced recruit. Another recruit. I like a wave in these types of decks, maybe more so than a recruit even, except I only want one wave, and we really need as many 2s as we can get. If we don't get a wave, we can still find ways to win, but if we don't fill out our 2s, we're going to be in very big trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and take yet another recruit here, and maybe we'll pick up a wave somewhere else, but I think filling out our 2s is going to be very important in this deck, and we're not going to take this dead weight, or we're not going to play this dead weight. So if we were more filled out in the 2s, I would take the finisher, but without enough 2s, we want to take 2s. Now we have, again, another 2 or a gate. How much are we interested in splashing like a Notion Rain? Because we're interested in playing a Mesmerist. We really are. I'm going to take the Mesmerist. We're that interested in 2s. I'm actually kind of happy to get 3 2s in a row. Snare is okay, but it's sorcery speed. It's whatever. So I'm going to take the Mesmerist here. And here's another Mesmerist, and we've taken 4 2-drops in a row and have gone from having 1 2 to now being fairly well stacked at 2, which makes me feel much better. Here's yet another one. Just all the 2s. I don't like Muse Drake. Muse Drake is whatever. Whatever. I'll play it, but I was so excited about Muse Drake when it first appeared, when we first saw it, but then it became just whatever. Vault Progress there. That's the type of place where I take Vault Progress, even because it's technically correct, not because it's some large influx of value. Definitely not playing this Knight of Autumn. Probably not playing this, honestly. I'll keep the Notion Rain in for now, but right now it's on the chopping block. We have 2 Izonis. We could continue our rare drafting and work some Izoni angling, although we're running out of even rares. Yeah, we don't really even have the rares to do it with. Let's take Bodyguard over Storm. Since we've really hooked up our 2s, I now want a Bodyguard to come down and support those 2s. Command the Storm is very good, but it's 5. It's clunky 5. We might get another Sizzle. I know it's removal. I'm going to take the Bodyguard, though. I really want to be supporting the 2s we picked up with something as powerful as the Bodyguard. Nightveil Sprite is fantastic. We're probably going to have to take that over Bodyguard, Wave, Assault, Land, and Cyclops, but I really can't pass Sprites. Yeah, I kind of want to take this and be done. Thing is, you can do a pretty creature heavy Izzet deck. I mean, like, what are our rewards for spells right now are we Dragonauts and Cyclops, and that's fine. But really, we can just curve out aggressively with creatures and play a tempo game, and it's fine. Yeah, we do have Ral. That's a very good point. But Ral is fine just plussing. I know, I just can't pass the Sprite. And now, probably want a Watcher. This is what I wanted over... Lead Guildmage is fine, but... I think we're probably not splashing anything. Yeah, I think this is Watcher. Too good. Watcher too good. Oh boy. Okay, so we can take a Piston Fist. And then we do if we pick up a second Piston Fist, then we need to find some stuff to trigger this. So we kind of go like spells the rest of the way here. Cut some of our... We actually have too many 2s now. We just got... Suddenly, we had no 2s and then just got a flood of them. Land is reasonable, but I don't think we need to splash here. If this were, I don't think we need to splash. We're just going to be straight is it, and I'm going to take Cyclops, and we'll try and spell it out from here. See what I did there? Spell it out. Sure strike. Here's the dazzling we were hoping for. Max altitude, not bad either, but we'll take dazzling over that. Maybe punch on the wheel. Here's a punch pre-wheel. We would also take pass wall. I've not really played... I don't even like Gravitic Punch too much in these decks, but since we're low on spell power, let's go ahead and take that. And Assault is good here. We're going to take Assault over Cover Up for the tempo-based Is It deck. And this is not a wheel, so Sonic Assault here means we may see a Sonic Assault in the next couple of packs. Can't remember exactly where it was. Ah, there it was. Awesome. So, all coming up Millhouse now. We're getting the spells we need. We got the Wave or a third Assault. What do you think? Let's see what chat thinks of this one. Wave or Sonic? Oh, wait. Voting works on this format. I forget that some formats actually work on voting, right? Doesn't it? Does it work? Oh, it's still not showing me the totals. Okay, it doesn't work. 9 on the wave. First wave and third Sonic. Or first Sonic. Sorry. First wave or third Sonic. Let me restart Deckmaster. It's saying it's working, but maybe it's not. Yeah, Assault is so good with what we're up to with like Piston Fists and stuff and Wee Dragonauts. I turned it off and restarted it. I enabled the enhanced log. I don't know what I enabled and where. I don't know if it means it has more value just because it's the first wave. There's a lot of value in consistently getting Sonic Assaults down when you're pushing early damage and being able to cast 2 spells with this. Yeah, I think I'm going to go against chat here. I think we don't want wave. I think Assault is everything we're trying to accomplish. Leapfrog may make the cut. Like, now we don't have to play Gravitic Punch because we have all the waves. Like, I'd much rather be playing Assault, or sorry, all the waves, all the Assaults. So we can take a Book Devourer here. I'm not playing this first punch, much less the second now. Yeah. Clever bat meme. Okay, let's figure out what we want to actually craft here. Got 4 rares and 10 mythics. Let's see, you gotta help me remember what when we get there. We're gonna craft up on Ral for sure. So we're gonna get Ral, and then we had a couple of 2s in our rares, like Knight of Autumn and Clarion. I think we can craft Clarion and Autumn and get to those. Oh, we only had 1 Clarion. Then what's the... I thought we rare drafted one that we had 2 of. Anybody remember? Maybe only Ral and Knight is what we were intending to craft up. And then think that's where we were at. Yes, this is very draft-centric optimization, which is exactly what this account is about, Remora. I don't know if you've been on this stream before. There's people out there who think I'm nuts for my approach to wildcard conversion in draft, but this account is all about drafting every day if possible on stream. So, yeah. I go this far all the time. We just haven't done it lately. It happens more towards the end of a format when you get closer to 4X, and in this case, we got close to 4X on GRN, but didn't quite get there on this one. We'll rejoin the draft. And let me make sure, was there anything else we were considering? Just the Clarion, we didn't really have the rares for that, so here we go. Take our 60. Maniacal Rage isn't crazy, but it's not as it doesn't trigger. You want synergies, and we have all this stuff that can trigger synergies, and with like Wee Dragonauts, and Rage just doesn't, and it puts you at a risk of a 2-for-1. Wow, I thought we had more cuts to make than one, though. Let me tell you that. One cut. Yikes. 17-7, pretty high creature count for an Izzet deck, actually. So we should probably cut our worst creature, which probably is one of these twos. One of the Mesmerists, maybe, although Mesmerists, when they get going together, are pretty crazy good. If we're going to play this Sure Strike, I think I want to keep the Beam Splitter in. That's not much of a combo, but it may be slightly better than, like, a Mesmerist. Normally I don't want to cut twos, but we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 2-drops. I think we can go to 7 and be okay. If you don't want to cut one of these twos, then what are we cutting? Like a Leapfrog? Yeah, Rebel Belt could be cut. I mean, yeah, we don't have 4s, but like, we just don't have 4s. And we're probably going to play Sonic Assaults on 4. Bargent is posed as a cut. We could also cut Sphinx. No, I didn't get an Altitude. I don't really like that card all that much. And are we really that fat at 5? We have 4 cards. That's not what I would call fat. But yeah, Sergeant goes with the 2s a little bit. Tell you what, I'm gonna take a bio break and poll this. Let's figure out a last cut. Let's see, our nominees for cutting are Boar, Recruit, Mez, M-E-S for Mesmerist, or was there, what else were we considering? Or Beam. Yeah, let's do Beam. It's a little all in for me, Robert. I'm just too conservative, I guess. It's not, yeah, okay, I'll add Leap to the mix, but I don't think I want to cut any of the 5s, but I'll add Leap as well. So your choices are going to be Boar, Recruit, MES, Mez, Beam, or Leap. And I'm going to give you a 60, and I'll be right back. Interesting voting. Beam the vast leader. I will go ahead and cut the beam right now. The one thought I had when I was upstairs was thinking I think I do want to cut a 2, like not the leapfrog or the boar. And I was thinking that like one consideration is that all these 1 toughness make us pretty weak to Oppo's, you know, deal 1 to everything type spells, but I'll cut the mage now, but let's keep an eye on whether we're too soft to 1 damage effects, and maybe make a change after that. Oh, ranked choice? I don't know how to do that. Is there a way to do polls with ranked choice? Whatever. Oh, wait, what are we going to name this? Let's see. I somehow got pushed off of Dimir. How did that happen? Let's see. Mesmerizing. I don't want to do spoilers though. That's the thing. I like too good. I'll go with James's suggestion since it doesn't spoil anything. I'll get all the data updated here. We are now GRN Bo1. That's correct. Looks good. Also, you know, like my poker group, you know, I've played poker for years with Marshall and Adam and others, and our poker group had to put a soft ban on "that's what she said" jokes because people were getting their bars were too low. You know, the bar was falling so low on "that's what she said" jokes that we had to just put a stop to it. And that's kind of how I feel about "is it" puns for "is it" now. It's like the bar for an IS space IT joke around this particular guild has to be insanely good for you to impress me with it. It's not impossible. I guess we'll attack. They're not going to block, so it didn't really matter, but... Ouch, Batmean. Let's see, we could bore it up right now. I kind of like the boar. They don't have blocks. Let's see, blocks or becomes blocked. Yeah, I guess they do have a good block on the recruit now, but we can play the boar and get up in the air and start assaulting the goblin if it stays back on D. Maybe. You're talking about this is discard fodder, but it currently beats what's going on here. I'm gonna do it. Next turn, almost regardless, we're gonna drop the Cyclops to get that down before we start assaulting and sizzling. That's a good point. It just trades with the goblin. Nonetheless, I believe we will find extra lands that we want to pitch to assault. You know, I tend to believe that eventually we'll get the useless lands that we want for that. Recruit just dies to the goblin. All right, so probably want to play our 5th land and just follow through on the Cyclops plan. We could, yeah. If they want to do an attack, that's fine. Like, I want them to get aggro. We were going to out-aggro them if they try that. So let's go ahead and drop the Cyclops, drop an island, get in for 1 in the air. Yeah, we could even offer... I'll offer the boar. If they want to trade boar for goblin, I'm willing to take that at this point because the Inspiring Unicorn says they might want to go wide. So I'm going to go ahead and play the attack with the boar as well. Yeah, Oppo's not sure if they want to trade with the boar. They're trying to decide whether they're winning by going wide with Unicorn and whatever Boros power they have, or whether they can win a race. But heck, with Sonic Assault, we have, if we draw a land, we could pitch Sizzle and play 2 Assaults, tap down everything they've got, bring them to 7, and just kill them. So, like, we're a land draw away from just making them dead. What Mensch and Mama are talking about. Hey, Mama, maybe can you make a note, and between games I might speak to that exact issue around the wildcard system and what kind of stuff we talked about at work on those problems. But basically, the pros and cons of the most dominant card in Standard and the worst card at the same rarity being costing the same on Arena. We kill them on 1 assault. I was saying, well, since they stayed back to block, maybe not. But basically, if they had come any kind of attack, then yeah. But now with 2 assaults, they 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So we can tap 2 things. Like we tap this, and then we attack with everything. And this is triggered twice. I think they just can't win if we do it. Is it even just lethal? This gets, this will be a 5 power attacker. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, they're taking 9 from the Dragonauts alone. I think we just get lethal if we do this. My math says lethal on Assault. Alright, deck did what we wanted it to do. Notch the first win. Well, math became for blockers, but only after some attackers did some math, if we're honest about it. Wave and Assault do very similar things for the deck. I mean, but Wave has the potential to, or Assault has the potential to trigger our Spells Matter stuff twice, which is nice. We're going to keep this. Probably, well, let's see. We'll see what Oppo shows before we decide what 2 we're going to go for. Alright, with a Vine, what does it matter? It doesn't really matter. I guess we go with the recruit, but they're gonna have good blocks either way here.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
We're ditching the Sphinx. It's our expensive card. It's pretty far away, so get rid of that. We don't really have an attack here, so I'm not going to bother, and we'll just Cyclops it up. If they don't play a significant blocker next turn, maybe we go ahead and Mesmerist anyway. Trying to figure out when we start assaulting. This is a spot where I think, like, if we knew we were playing this deck specifically, I'd much rather have a wave, that's for sure. But this is a matchup thing here. Defense too good right now. We're going to keep building on our board and look for land. Yeah, what can we do with Ral once we get there? Draw. Instant sorceries in exile and graveyard. Right now, that's none. But we have a potential for 2. So Ral at first is just going to be drawing. Yeah, but come on, Robert. I'm acknowledging where the data point where we would rather have a wave, but I still stand by my decision that added a Sonic Assault to our deck. All right, Electromancer. We'll keep building it out here. Wonder if they're going to start cracking vines looking for action of their own. Be fine with me. The vines are in our way. Big time. Next turn we get Assault with Dazzling, even if we don't get land. And with Mesmerist and Dazzling, like, basically nothing of theirs has power, effectively. Although they have 4 mana in their Golgari, so power could show up right quick. Alright, that's probably what we're going to Dazzle. And we'll knock down the Portcullis Vine for the attack. And I'm going to shrink down. I want to shrink down. I'm going to shrink down the... It's suspicious, but I'm going to shrink down the beetle. I want him to block with the centipede on the the Cyclops. I mean, we're telegraphing Dazzling Lights big time, but let's make Hawk 1, 2, 3, 9, 7 here figure it out. All right, so we're gonna go. We make the mesmerist trade for the rat, which maybe makes this less than beautiful, but getting the centipede for free is nice. Ooh, and we need that land. We need both of it. Yeah, let's keep both. And we have Sizzle and Ral, so we should be trying to find land. Building up that vine. What we'll probably end up doing is, well, we'll probably sizzle the, maybe sizzle the painter now. I was gonna say we could use sizzle plus a bounce off block to get rid of the vine. Oh, we could sizzle now. I forgot that the Electromancer was making it cheaper. We know that we're getting a mountain though, so if the thing is, if we sizzle and there's another land under this mountain, we have to discard Ral in order to make it work. I'm gonna just stay back on D here because I don't want to risk that unless we feel it's super necessary. We're not in a hurry now, but in my head we're in a hurry because the longer we let a Golgari deck build up its graveyard of creatures and find its powerful, presumably powerful late game, there is a bit of a rush. There's not a rush based on what Oppo is doing right now, but don't get too comfortable. Oppo drops a massive creature and suddenly we are way up against it way quickly. And it is what I'm expecting from Oppo. Jason wants me to wait. What's your plan, Jason? Or a Vigor Spore Worm, for example. Although at least we can sizzle that right out of the game. Are we willing to risk having to pitch Ral to take out the Vigor Spore Worm now? Nah. We can actually put Cyclops on the worm if we needed to, so we can wait. And yeah, we can even take 5, like whatever. We take a slam here, but then the painter settles back down and we have a way to trade for or kill there. But we're gonna take this 5. Yeah, I want to improve our odds of sizzling, although it's not like we're gonna Ral next turn. That's all right. All right, we gotta do that. Gotta do this. And I could have actually should have made. You know, we needed to keep the. We need to play the land for Ral. I don't think we're expecting pump, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn. And we now have Sizzle plus a Cyclops to block with at the ready for this current situation. See what they want to do. I'm going to block with the Cyclops and just see if they want to do anything. And then we decide if we want to do anything. Because we might just want to trade the Cyclops for the worm, and that's fine. Because then, if we trade here, we can even then burn out the painter and basically have nothing threatening Ral, and then Ral can take over. So yeah, I'm not going to waste this. I'm going to, if they're willing to make this trade, let's take it. Let's take it for the Cyclops. Because we would be under pressure. We drop Ral and use this +1, then we got, we got Worm. They might attack with Painter and Worm. Maybe it was protected enough, but I didn't know what they were going to draw. I'm just trying to get, is it Ral down when the coast is super, super clear, basically. And with 4... Yeah, we got to let that resolve. Might even need to Sizzle plus Recruit now to take out the Lurcher. If we don't do that, yeah, actually, we're gonna play it slow here and try and take out the Lurcher. I just want to set up, if we can control the board, it's not what we're trying to play a tempo game with, is it? But in this case, if we can clear the board for Ral, we don't really lose. So I'm gonna be super patient, and here we're gonna also be super patient and not play this island because it can be the thing we pitch to the Sonic Assault, and we have the land we need to play our stuff. The other thing we do, though, is drop the island, and then we have Assault. We're not going to do that, though. And look, it was an island underneath, so if we had gone for it with Sizzle, we would not been happy. Still might not be. It could be 2 lands here, but we're going to risk it to try and take out the Lurcher. All right, we will offer up Recruit. I feel maybe I should have Sizzled before block, but kind of like end of turn Sizzle as well. That's rough, but we got to follow through on Dead Lurcher here. All right, 4 power versus 3 power versus Ral. We have a 6 power coming down. If we leave the 4, we can play it and double block it. So we're gonna actually do the painful thing, pitch the Watcher. We are at... I'm surprised it doesn't tell us. Well, I'll look in a second. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3. We're at 3 on Ral right now. So Ral can do 3 and take out the Painter. We're going to play Sergeant. I'm going to continue to hold that land. We're going to play Sergeant. And threaten to double block a 6/6. Occam's Razor has no faith. Whoever said Ral was non-Cavs. Oh. Well, that was a very good play from them. Lucky, lucky. I bet they just ripped that. We're going to have to go to... potentially... Yeah, we're going to have to go to 3 here. And we got to play... kill the Electromancer. Potentially go to 1. Yeah, we got to go to 1. I don't know how we win from here exactly, but if we draw... We play the Mesmerist, we use the Assault to tap something. And I would argue Ral would never have been great. If we had deployed Ral at any point, we'd be in a worse spot than we are right now. Ooh, good rip, good rip. That's kind of exactly what we needed. 2 creatures is what the doctor ordered here, big time. Unfortunately, it still requires chumps, but there is some eating and chumping that can occur here. So oh yeah, we're just totally dead, aren't we? Still dead. Can't even really play this. Are we dead? If we... yeah, we're just dead. Oh yeah, Rao's fine. I mean, honestly, folks, this is what I... you know... Look, Planeswalkers are here for good, whether you love them or don't love them. Most people love them. My issue with their gameplay is they're such strikeout home run cards. Either you're annoyed because you can't even deploy your cool Planeswalker because it just doesn't do enough before it gets killed, or your opponent's annoyed because you've deployed your cool Planeswalker and there's nothing they can do before they get killed. So, despite their cool factor, Planeswalkers do have play patterns and decisions around them that are pretty strikeout home run that can be a little bit frustrating. I think people do love Planeswalkers, but people love to complain even more than Planeswalkers. But I think just people who love flavor love Planeswalkers. People who love powerful cards love Planeswalkers. But no, I mean, Planeswalkers were more developed. Sagas came before Planeswalkers. The initial design of Planeswalkers was actually more like Sagas. The original design of Planeswalkers that we're going to debut in Future Sight were play this Planeswalker, something happens, then the next thing happens on the next turn, then the next thing happens on the turn after that. So the idea was, oh yeah, the Planeswalker comes and casts some spells and then goes away. But it was very unsatisfying because you couldn't, you didn't get to stick them around, and they maybe the thing that they did wasn't useful at that point in time, and so it felt really bad to play it. And then they abandoned that idea, postponed adding Planeswalkers to Future Sight, and said, let's wait until Lorwyn and let's figure this out. And so that's what they did. All right, that loss stunk, but Oppo had the tools to defeat our Izzet deck and kind of do perfectly there. Let's be honest. Come on. I mean, GG Oppo, but quite a series of rips there for you to take that one before we could turn the corner. We had lots of great lines to stabilize, and Oppo just had pull after pull after pull to disrupt our stabilization plays. We'll keep this, though. We got a 2, we got a 3. If we pick up Flood, at least we can get into a City Watch Sphinx. It's possible I just haven't read that article or heard that story or whatever. It sounds vaguely familiar. I just don't know when Richard did that. Was he, like, was that a suggestion made when? I don't know. I would like to point out that everybody who's like, it's fine, don't worry about it, we're under no pressure. I'm like, this is Golgari. We're going to be under heavy pressure almost instantly the second they find it, you know, and sure enough, that's what happened. Yep. Well, unfortunately, we can't block that. It's likely to get bigger, and now I'm jealous of our opponent's Dimir deck. We'll get him, though. Let's get him. Whee! Dragonauts. Man, I was in the room at the time. I guess I wasn't paying attention to that. I don't mean I was literally in the room where Richard Garfield was proposing that exact thing to Mark Rosewater. I just mean I was in R&D at the time. Dark Blade is probably going to do some work next turn, but I don't know what we do about that other than be sad. And... they didn't attack with a bug. Do they not understand Menace? Maybe I should keep the Dragonauts back because they're Menace Fear, but actually we want to race, so I'll trade life for life here. Well, we know Mark was. I guess in 2013 I didn't have my CPAP yet, so maybe I was too. Interesting. They had a pause there. Are they just going full control on us for no good reason? What was that about? Must be on full control for no good reason. Yeah, but why do you try and bluff with when you're tapped out in a format with no free spells? CPAP is a type of device that addresses sleep apnea, which is the condition where you come out of, and sometimes you even fail to get to deep sleep because you stop breathing and your brain freaks out and does the work to get you to start breathing again. But that cycle of stopping and starting breathing prevents you from... We're just going to have to let him have a card here. We're going to go for tempo over card advantage. Anyway, the CPAP keeps those channels clear so that you don't have the stop breathing problems that are so common with those with sleep apnea. We have a Bargent here. If it will not trade with the Dimir Informant, and if we shrink the Spy Bug, they basically have no good blocks. Well, no, we want to shrink the Informant so that they can't block the Recruit or the Mesmerist, and then we're happy to trade Mesmerist for Spy Bug. We're happy to trade, you know, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and Bargent and use the Mesmerist to shrink the Informant, and anything for 1 black. There's the instant removal spell, but it requires creatures in the graveyard, so they have nothing of consequence here. Yeah, and sorry, the CPAP device itself is like, you look like a fighter pilot. You're wearing this, or, you know, that you're being prepped for surgery or something. You make Darth Vader jokes. Where to put the Mentor +1/+1? Probably just on the Dragonauts. Let's make our Dragonauts a better flyer, or First Strike, at least then potentially blocks there. Anyway, well, let's attack and discuss it. We know we're attacking with everything. Start here. Oh, okay. I don't want to put it on the Mesmerist because they can still trade the bug if they want. Extra power of First Strike is really nice, but extra power in the air is nice. So that's really the question. We want to make our air dude better or our First Striker better. I'm going to go air dude. It's less fragile. They were a little bit forced into that, and we're happy to get rid of that bug, and now the Aeronauts, or Dragonauts, is a better flyer for us. Barrier not gonna do it. Basically, we're on the Dragonaut plan and the Sphinx plan. If we can draw a land, we get in for 2, get them to 11, drop a 5 power flyer, then we're looking at 6 in the air, and they're on a 2-turn clock after that. If we don't draw a land, we have the Sprite play and whatever we draw, of course. Man, they're getting a lot of value out of those Darkblade agents, but we're just going to try and race them. And we're down to no great attacks on the ground. If we Mesmerist down the power of the Informant, that's only, you know, this still eats one of them, and this has another block. So really, Dragonauts is our only play. our only attack and Sphinx our only play. Oppo seems to be a full controller. My phone in the other room keeps letting me know I have a text. I'm gonna go grab it. One sec. Woof, that's a tough one to face. We don't want that land. We want the bodyguard. Yeah, bodyguard's fine. 2 spell it next turn. Just hope they don't do any surveil right here. Please don't do any more surveil. We're really just letting them draw a lot of cards off the Darkblade Agent, but we have to execute our game plan of tempo aggression. Still only have Dragonaut attacks here, but we have a nice double spell turn. Maybe. Start with the bodyguard. Yeah, I should have thought this through because it looks like we're going to get countered. But Night Veil Sprayed, I think, would have been my second play anyway. Like, if we're going to risk something getting countered, I want to risk bodyguard. And then continue on the air with the Sprite. Ugh, that's so rough. Might have to just block one of these agents now. 2 for 1 ourselves to prevent them from drawing yet more, and hope that our Dragonaut Sprite team will get us to the finish line before they can get us to 0. It's a long shot. They've restocked their library with good stuff, and how's it a 2 for 2? Denying them the draw? Yeah. You can't, that's not how that math works, I don't think. We just lost 2 cards and they lost 1. I don't think it's a 2 for 2. Not in my... Like, we accepted a 2 for 1 to prevent them from getting an 0 for 1. That's what I'm saying. 12. This race isn't going great. I get your point. I don't know if you're getting mine, though. In that exchange, they lost 2 cards and we lost 1. That was not a 2 for 2. We lost 2 cards and they lost 1. Disagree. We accepted a 2 for 1 to prevent their 0 for 1. That does not make it a 2 for 2. The result was that we lost 2 and they lost 1. The result was a 2 for 1. Wow, we're going to lose another game with this amazing Izzet deck. I'm a little disappointed. Now they had a 1 for 0. If we don't block, they gain 1 card, expending no resources. Stephen, what they're saying is that when you draw a land, at that point, a land is not worth a card, whereas an agent on the battlefield is worth a card. It is actually a card, you know. But if you draw a useless card, it feels like you didn't actually gain a card at all, is what they're saying. Semantics are hugely important. It's important to be able to discuss stuff. As long as everybody's keeping a civil tone about it and everything, it's fine. I think semantics are interesting. This is close enough to toast for my taste. One of my least favorite expressions, truly, one of my least favorite expressions is, it's just semantics. Just semantics. Just how we successfully communicate with each other and exchange and share ideas. It's just that. Okay. Why is Muldrifter as a 3-for-1 ambiguous? I mean, not only is it 2 cards in a body, it's 2 cards in a body that the body qualifies as a card. A 2/2 flyer is a card, you know? Alright. 1 and 2. But I love this deck. Let's just rattle off 6 wins, okay? I love this deck. Gonna go Mesmerist, Cyclops, Mesmerist, and maybe, you know, or or a Lights Assault. We'll see what it feels correct here. No, according to Cabs, it's not good, but of course it would be good in any Cabs deck because of its efficiency. But on a blind assessment of what Cabs is about, no. Well, hopefully, you know, we can outlive their tempo here. Well, they didn't even play a guild gate, so... Yeah, pass Ancestral Recall in Vintage Cube if you are trying to only adhere purely to what a Cabs deck is. Yep, that's correct. Okay, we could... Mesmerist, but I'm gonna just max our mana here and not bother trying to keep up the lights. Could be a counter 4 or above here. They got some sort of response. No? All right, not the worst. They used a takedown on a 2-drop. I actually like, I kind of like the Mesmerist being gone because now our Dazzling Lights is actually a surprise. Do we want to assault or... I think we want... Because we can have assault plus dazzling. Let's assault. Let's start doing this. And do we want... Because then we get to attack. Yeah, I'm going to assault the Poisoner. And then I don't think they're even going to want to block with the agent. And if they do, we get them. And I think I'll use the Dazzling on the Dark Blade if they do something to give it Death Touch or whatever, Death Touch and draw a card. Yeah, my main problem with the Just Semantics phrase is that it dismisses clarification of communication as important. All right. They paid for that. And we'll get the boar. If Oppo is paying attention, they know we have the Dazzling Lights, but I don't think they are, so we're going to go ahead and swing in and eat the Poisoner, look for some more lands, and then play a Mesmerist. Because they thought the Poisoner was going to take out... We'll do it like this. They thought the Poisoner was going to do good work here. And if they're out of Surveil, they just had a dorky 2-3. Like, if they're done with Surveil and don't have much more, maybe they're like, for the rest of this game, this is basically a 2-3, so maybe it's the one to give up. Oh, shoot, that was a punt. I meant to cast the Mesmerist, I was just talking and playing. But maybe a unpunt will beat a Sonic Assault, something like a Vigor Spore Worm. So, I meant to cast the Mesmerist, but we do have a play here that... that is pretty good, actually. It was a punt in the sense that I didn't do the play I wanted, but it actually worked out fantastic for us. And in fact, maybe I should have thought that through and have done that intentionally. Exploding Karn. Get your emotes ready. Nice. We didn't set par on this deck, but I really like it. I would have said 4 on this one. I expect to get 4 wins out of this at least, but magic is magic. Expectations are dashed all the time. All right, got a 2, got a 3, and then we got assaulting. Sounds good.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Oh, you held out your hat meme and Mama hooked you up. Now you got it all. That's the plan, Hat. I haven't spoken with Jay yet this week, but my expectation is that Jay will be back doing constructed stuff this week, and maybe we'll take a look at how to go about building a brawl deck. Don't know. I haven't talked to Jay yet, though. Looks like we got ourselves an Is It Mirror.
Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar.
Next turn, we have a great turn. If the Electromancer survives, we get Mesmerist Assault next turn.
Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar.
Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, Occam's Razor. Subs are coming in. Love it. Y'all want those sweet, sweet emotes, right? Yeah, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna do, we could just sizzle that frog, but I like Mesmerist Assault. We have 2 assaults available to us next turn. We might just win. They're at a virtual 6, and we tap this and whatever else they play and win. I think we just win. Well, that changes it a little bit. We'll see if they have a counterspell. But I think we just do... let's do the first one. Or do this one from hand. Capture Sphere. All right. They're still in rough shape. If they don't gain life, they are effectively dead. You got it? He's still dead. Back in. Go, go, go. Thank you, Razor. Appreciate that. All right, this looks good too. I'm actually going to open on Mesmerist. It has a, you know, the minus is really nice against what I assume to be Boros. Of course, Electromancer stops the Witness from attacking, but I'm cool for a race here. We don't have anything we're trying to make cheap with the Electromancer yet, and I think the Mesmerist is a little bit better of an attacker because of its ability, so... And here we're going to go Mesmerist into Frog. And be really happy that our Boros opponent has not played anything on 2 as of yet. That's alright, too. Hopefully draw one of our 3 assaults, and then we can go Electromancer and Assault if they put up a blocker. Might just kill the Frog, it looks like. Oh, Bonzing the Frog, okay. Flooding out a bit, but we now have the 6 land we need for City Watch, so not all bad yet, but we'd love to stop it with the lands now. Electromancer is going to have to threaten to trade with that. Deck is not listening to us in terms of our draw requests. Now, if Oppo has something for the Electromancer here, we may be done with this event, just flooding out at the wrong time. If they don't have something for the Electromancer and we can trade for the dropper, we're fine. Fine-ish, depending on what they're up to here. But cross our fingers. Alright, that was huge. If they had a trick there, we're just stone dead. Hey, Raul, we'll get to you in a minute. Hopefully this stabilizes. Well, Hat, how do we win if we can't trade there? Like, if we don't make that trade, what are we doing? All right. Oh, from Oppo. Yeah. I wasn't sure. I understand you now. Raul going to 6 means them having 3 is not the worst, but gosh, I kind of want to... I'm going to surveil the assault to the yard and we'll keep the sizzle. Because this becomes an extra draw for us anyway. Now, do we want to Raul? Go to 6. They can attack him down to 3, but then we have Raul still ticking up. If they have Pump, they can use Pump or Burn to finish off Raul. If we find a 2 on top, we can actually play a 2, though. I'm going to go ahead and do the Raul. Look for a 2-drop.
Show me what you've got. Oh, come on. I just want to peek. The weight is killing me.
Close. Do we play this? I guess I'm not going to play the island. We can't really 2-spell Sizzle and Not, so I'm going to hang tight here. Ugh. I was worried about that with what Oppo is up to, but what are you going to do? We get a... sizzle it away.
I guess there's no way to change what just happened.
And still kind of want to hold the land if possible. We can pitch either. We can also just... Yeah, I want to sizzle this before they get insanely out of range. Not that the life total really matters that much. We either turn the corner or we don't. But I'm going to do this while their shields are down. See what we can find. Yeah, we'll discard a lights here. Fine to turn lights into removal. And I will play 1 land here, give us a little bit more land options, and then if we need the other one, we can on next turn. Yeah, Raul didn't do nothing. Just didn't take over the way we hoped it could have. Four, 5, 6, 7. If we do 8, if we play this, we get to dump our entire hand. I just don't know if it matters. We're never blocking with the recruit. And we're not attacking with it right now. So I'm just going to go Cyclops, Dragonauts. And we're going to keep this island for pitching to the assault and wait on that recruit. Might need to trade off Dragonauts or Cyclops for the Goblin, though. Man, Oppo. Look. The deck is great. But when we draw twice as many lands as our opponent, it's really tough to win. Deck is great. How do we play this? Probably have to play out the recruit now, stay back on D, and potentially try and assault, maybe even mid-combat assault to get that Parhelion Patrol to be eaten by the Dragonauts. We'll see how they want to play it here. I mean, they know we have the assault, so it's not like it's hidden. Not like this, Arena. Please, not like this. Deck is too good to lose to this nonsense. Boros, weak sauce Boros. Let's see, what are we gonna do though? I guess we let that resolve and then tap it. Yeah, was gonna try and make the trade, now we gotta tap it. Just kind of weak, like I said. I'm just being salty. Oppo's doing a strategy that's working. I just hate losing to Vigil Maniacal Rage Boros. That's a particularly rough way to go. I guess we take 2 here. Candlelight Vigil to haste away our Planeswalker and then flood ourselves to doom. All right. We've had some great runs lately. I'm gonna be a little salty, but I'm not in a bad place or a bad mood, really. Magic's been going great for us. Just hit one of those spots where the deck wouldn't give us the chance we wanted. And now we're in a pretty ridiculous spot on the recruit. Although we can throw everything in front of the recruit, and it basically becomes a 1-for-1. Which I think we have to do here. If they have something to blow us out, we can't play around anything in hand. So we're doing this, hoping we just get the Cyclops 1-for-1'd. If they have a trick, we're just done with this even earlier than we expected. Well, actually it turned out to be a 2-for-2 instead of a 1-for-1, so that could have gone a lot worse. Thanks. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Arena. Thank you, Arena. Thank you, Magic, for being your frustrating self. Forced block right here. Well, it's a lot easier to get salty when you're not making an opponent uncomfortable, right? Like, oh yeah, why would you have another land? Why not just be a Boros deck, draw 2 of each land, and then stop for the rest of the game? That's great. All right, enough salt. We just got hit with the flood. It happens. I can't believe this deck only went 3-3 though. It took 3, like, I think we got straight up just stone cold beat against that Dimir deck, but the other 2 losses were pretty variance laden. So I kind of feel like we went 3-1 and then variance clocked us. So, sad times for the 3-3, but, you know. Nobody punted me today. That's my main measure. Not that I didn't make mistakes, but we didn't increase the punt count, so there was no massive mistake, right? Well, it's noon. I could actually just leave and stuff, but I'll play a brawl game. Sure, maybe. The trouble is, like, when we'll see if it happens what happened yesterday. When I came back from when I played brawl yesterday, I was just so kind of done that I couldn't really get into it. I'll go to Soapbox. We'll claim this prize. Open some packs. Boo-hoo, Ryan, your free-to-play account is at 11,180 gold.